understanding what real happiness means. In today's fast-moving world, everyone is chasing happiness, but very few people actually understand what happiness truly is. Many people believe happiness comes from money, luxury, fame, or social media validation. They think that once they achieve these things, their life will automatically become joyful and peaceful. But if you observe reality closely, you will notice something interesting. There are people who have wealth, fame, and success, yet they still feel empty and dissatisfied. On the other hand, there are people with very simple lives who genuinely feel content and peaceful. Happiness is not just a temporary emotion that appears when something good happens. Real happiness is more like a stable mental state, a way of thinking and living. Science and psychology have shown that long-term happiness depends less on external events and more on daily habits, mindset, and lifestyle choices. In other words, happiness is not something that magically appears in life. It is something that people intentionally build through small but powerful actions every day. Another important thing to understand is that the human brain naturally focuses more on problems than positive experiences. This is called a negativity bias, and it evolved to help humans survive dangers in ancient times. But in modern life, this same bias can make people overthink problems, compare themselves with others, and feel stressed even when their life is actually going well. Because of this, many people unknowingly train their brain to feel unhappy. The good news is that happiness can actually be trained. Just like muscles grow stronger through exercise, the brain can become more positive and peaceful through certain habits and behaviors. In this video, we will explore 5 powerful and practical ways to stay happy in everyday life. These are not unrealistic motivational ideas, but simple methods supported by psychology and real-world experience. If you start applying them consistently, you can slowly build a happier, calmer, and more satisfying life. Way 1. Control your thoughts, not your circumstances. One of the biggest misunderstandings about happiness is the belief that we must control our life circumstances in order to feel happy. People often think, I will be happy when I get a better job, or, I will be happy when I earn more money, or, I will be happy when my problems disappear. But the truth is that life will always contain challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected situations. Waiting for life to become perfect before allowing yourself to feel happy is a trap that keeps many people stuck in frustration. Psychology teaches us a powerful principle: your thoughts shape your emotional experience. Two people can experience the exact same situation but feel completely different emotions because of how they interpret it. For example, if someone faces a failure, one person may think, I'm useless, I always fail, while another person might think, this is a lesson. I will improve next time. The event is the same, but the interpretation changes the emotional outcome. Our brain constantly produces thousands of thoughts every day, and many of them are automatic. Unfortunately, these automatic thoughts are often negative, critical, or fearful. If we never question these thoughts, they silently control our mood and behavior. But once you become aware of your thinking patterns, you gain the ability to challenge and reshape them. Instead of believing every negative thought, you can ask yourself a simple question: is this thought actually true, or is my mind exaggerating the problem? Learning to manage your thoughts does not mean ignoring reality or pretending problems do not exist. Instead, it means approaching life with a balanced and constructive mindset. When you train your brain to look for solutions instead of constantly focusing on problems, your emotional state gradually becomes calmer and more positive. This small shift in thinking is one of the most powerful foundations for building long-term happiness. Way 2. Practice gratitude every day. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to stay happy is by practicing gratitude. Gratitude means consciously recognizing and appreciating the good things that already exist in your life. Most people rarely do this because the human brain naturally focuses more on what is missing rather than what is already present. This constant focus on what I don't have slowly creates dissatisfaction, even when life is actually going well. Think about it carefully. Many people have food, shelter, internet access, the ability to learn new skills, and opportunities to improve their future. Yet they often feel unhappy because they constantly compare themselves with others who appear more successful or more fortunate. Social media has made this comparison even stronger, because people mostly show the best moments of their life, not the struggles behind them. When you constantly compare your life with someone else's highlight reel, it becomes very easy to feel like you are falling behind. Gratitude changes this mental pattern. When you intentionally take a moment to notice the positive aspects of your life, your brain slowly starts shifting its focus. Scientific studies in psychology show that regularly practicing gratitude can improve mood, reduce stress, and even improve sleep quality. It trains the brain to notice positive experiences instead of automatically filtering them out. You do not need any complicated method to practice gratitude. A very simple technique is to spend 1 minute every day thinking about 3 things you appreciate. They do not have to be huge achievements. Sometimes it can be something small, like learning something new, having a supportive friend, or simply having the ability to improve your life step by step. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to see opportunities, progress, and positivity instead of constantly noticing problems. Way 3. Build meaningful relationships. Human beings are naturally social creatures. No matter how independent someone tries to be, our emotional well-being is strongly influenced by the relationships we have with other people. Scientific studies in psychology consistently show that people who maintain healthy and meaningful relationships tend to experience higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction compared to those who remain socially isolated. Many people misunderstand this idea and assume that happiness requires having a large number of friends or being constantly surrounded by people. But the truth is that quality matters far more than quantity. A few genuine relationships where you feel understood, respected, and supported are much more valuable than dozens of shallow connections where there is no real emotional bond. Supportive relationships provide something very important for the human mind: emotional stability. When people share their thoughts, struggles, and achievements with trusted individuals, it reduces stress and creates a sense of belonging. This sense of belonging is deeply connected to psychological well-being. It reminds us that we are not facing life's challenges completely alone. At the same time, it is also important to choose relationships wisely. Not every relationship contributes positively to your happiness. Some people constantly spread negativity, criticism, or unnecessary drama. Spending too much time around such individuals can slowly drain your energy and motivation. Building meaningful relationships means surrounding yourself with people who encourage growth, positivity, and mutual respect. Way 4. Stay physically active and take care of your body. Many people think happiness is purely a mental or emotional state, but science clearly shows that the body and the mind are deeply connected. The way you treat your body directly influences how you feel mentally. When your body is active, healthy, and energized, your brain functions better and your mood naturally improves. On the other hand, a sedentary lifestyle, poor sleep, and unhealthy habits can slowly lead to stress, fatigue, and low motivation. Physical activity plays a powerful role in improving mental well-being. When you exercise, your brain releases chemicals such as endorphins and serotonin, which are often called feel-good chemicals. These chemicals reduce stress and create a natural sense of calm and positivity. This is why people often feel mentally refreshed after activities like walking, running, cycling, or even simple stretching exercises. The good news is that staying physically active does not mean you need to spend hours in the gym or follow an intense fitness routine. Even small daily activities can make a significant difference. A simple 20-minute walk, light exercise at home, or regular movement throughout the day can improve both physical health and emotional stability. The key idea is consistency, not intensity. Another important factor is sleep and nutrition. The brain needs proper rest and balanced nutrition to function effectively. Lack of sleep can increase irritability, reduce concentration, and make small problems feel much bigger than they actually are. By taking care of your body through regular movement, proper sleep, and balanced food, you create a strong foundation that naturally supports a happier and more stable mindset. Way 5. Focus on purpose, not just pleasure. Many people confuse happiness with pleasure. Pleasure is the temporary feeling we get from things like entertainment, social media, junk food, shopping, or other short-term rewards. While these activities can feel enjoyable in the moment, they rarely create long-term happiness. Once the moment passes, the mind quickly starts searching for the next source of stimulation. This cycle can leave people feeling empty or restless even after constant entertainment. True and lasting happiness is more closely connected to purpose. Purpose means having something meaningful that gives direction to your actions and effort. It can be learning a skill, building something valuable, helping others, improving your knowledge, or working toward a long-term goal. When people feel that their daily actions contribute to something meaningful, they experience a deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Psychologists often explain this using the concept of delayed gratification. This means choosing actions that may require effort today but create greater rewards in the future. For example, studying a new skill, exercising regularly, or building a project may not always feel immediately exciting, but over time these efforts create confidence, progress, and long-term happiness. When your life has a clear sense of direction, your brain naturally becomes more focused and motivated. Challenges start to feel like part of the journey rather than obstacles that destroy your mood. Instead of constantly chasing quick pleasure, you begin building a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. This shift from temporary pleasure to long-term purpose is one of the strongest foundations of lasting happiness.